Welcome to Round 5 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of January 18th. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
And Nicole Eridix.
Hi there.
Today, we're taking a break from talking and complaining and obsessing and instead shouting out things other people are doing that we think you'll find as useful or enjoyable as we do. We call this our Roundabout Roundup. My pick for this week is a new podcast by somebody whose podcasts I have been enjoying for years, Alan Sepinwall. I enjoyed him on the Firewall and Iceberg podcast he did with Dan Feinberg, and then later on TV Avalanche with Brian Grubb. And I've also enjoyed him. He's frequently a guest of the Podcast, another podcast I listen to, where he, I think he's been banned from there for a couple of years because he flouted the rules by calling every Christmas episode of The West Wing a favorite Christmas movie. But, I think he's got a point. So I'm always very happy to have him in my ears on podcasts. So this time around, because now he's the chief TV critic for Rolling Stone and therefore too fabulous, I guess, to just do a podcast with another TV critic. So he's doing one called Too Long, Didn't Watch, in which he sits down with a celebrity who has not watched a certain iconic show, and they watch the first episode and the last episode of the series and try to figure out what the heck. So I've listened so far to, he did one with John Hamm where they watched the first and last episodes of Gossip Girl, and John Hamm tried to figure out what would happen and then whether it actually did. And I'm partway through the one with Alison Brie watching Game of Thrones. So I haven't watched either of those shows either, so I really don't necessarily know what's going on either, but it's fun. It's the guests so far have been very enjoyable and clever and fun to listen to. I still really miss Alan talking about TV with another TV critic. I wish he would do something like that. But in the absence of that, or while we wait for another time through, this is kind of fun. So if you are a fan of his or just are looking for another entertainment podcast, give it a listen. It's called Too Long, Didn't Watch. Nicole, what's your pick this week?
Well, I'm just following up to the Nordic track bike that I talked about last week. And we were enjoying until we found that the seat of the bike became far too hard for our liking.
For your delicate parts.
So it didn't take long for us to all start avoiding the bike and not going near it.
So you're not doing it 4 times a day anymore like you were last week?
No. So then
who could have predicted?
My daughter was doing some research, and she went online and said, Mom, everybody on this group that I'm in, this Facebook page for the Nordic track, they said to go and get a much larger seat that's padded. So we did that. I think it was like $14. I found it on Amazon, and that's my shout out this week, is this bike seat that has saved our butts, literally. So it is nice and cushioned and wide, and it's just doing the job just fine, and we're happy to get on the bike and bike away. So thank you to whoever recommended that, and then of course thank you to Amazon for selling it, because we are now motivated to get back on.
I don't know, for the amount that a Nordic track costs, I think they should throw in a comfy seat.
Oh, I know. You would think, or at least like make it an add-on or something. But
people who want comfy seats are wimps.
I know. That's
tough.
My husband, he's a cyclist, and he's like, oh, just, you can deal with it. You got to break in your bones and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, they're literally breaking. But he's like, no, it takes a while. And then after a couple of days, I'm like, no, this is really painful. So anyway, everything is back in order in our world again.
So, Catherine, what have you got this time around?
Okay, so I was going to say that this might be TMI, but we just spent several minutes talking about Nicole's bum. So, but, okay, here goes. In the winter, of course, my feet get very, very dry. And, I moisturize them, whatever, but it feels like the only way to really deal with it is go get a pedicure where they just, scrape everything off and start over. But in the absence of being able to go get a pedicure all the time, do you know what actually works for very, very dry and cracked skin on your feet? Is A&D ointment.
Okay.
Like you would use on a baby.
Oh, okay.
You know, like you smell like you just, you know, like a clean diaper afterwards. But, you know, it's super cheap and readily available. And I am finding that it is really, really working to soften up my feet and get rid of the cracked and, you know, it gets painful to the point where, you know, when it's so dry. So yeah, you know, I just happened to have a tube of it in the medicine cabinet. I was like, I'm going to try this.
Wow.
And it really works. So,
Cool.
like I
Like
said,
that.
you'll smell like a freshly diapered baby. But it's
There are
worth
worse
it.
smells.
Exactly. It's not like a dirty diaper.
That would be a problem.
So that's it for another week of Parenting Roundabout. You never know what you're going to get over here.
That's right.
If you missed any of our earlier episodes this week, look them up on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts to hear what we have to say about upcoming firsts for our kids, having to be a morning person, and kitchen gadgets. You can also find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat. And please visit our Amazon shop at amazon.com/shop/mamitude, where you can find links to a lot of the things we talk about. Have a great weekend and see you back here on Monday.